How to use Shopify's GraphQL API. You can do this in just 7 simple steps. 1. To get started with Shopify's GraphQL API, first, you'll need to log into your Shopify admin panel. From there, go to Apps and click on Manage Private Apps at the bottom of the page. 2. If you don't have a private app set up, click Create a new private app. Provide the necessary details, including the app name and email address for the contact, and select the permissions you'll need for your app. 3. In the private app settings, scroll to the Storefront API section and enable the Allow this app to access your storefront data using the Storefront API option. You'll also want to select the permissions that correspond to the API data you wish to query. 4. Once your app is created and configured, make note of your API credentials, including the API key and API password. These credentials will be required to make requests to Shopify's GraphQL API. 5. Use an API client or a tool like Postman to interact with Shopify's GraphQL endpoint. The endpoint URL is https, your store name, myshopify.com/admin/API/2021-07/GraphQL.json. 6. Write your first GraphQL query or mutation to retrieve or manipulate data. For example, you can use a query to fetch product information or mutations to update inventory levels. Ensure that your headers include the necessary authentication, like the API key and password. 7. Once you've written your query or mutation, send the request to Shopify's GraphQL API endpoint. You should receive a response in JSON format with the data you requested or a success message for a mutation. With these steps, you'll be able to use Shopify's GraphQL API to interact with your store's data programmatically and build custom functionalities for your Shopify store.